my followers would fight to keep me from being handed over to the Jewish authorities. No. My kingdom does not belong here.
Are you a king, then?
You say that I am a king. I was born and came into the world for this one purpose: to speak about the truth. Whoever belongs to the truth listens to me.
And what is truth?
Then Pilate went back outside to the people and said to them,
I cannot find any reason to condemn him, but according to the custom you have, I always set free a prisoner for you during the Passover. Do you want me to set free for you the King of the Jews?
They answered him with a shout, Barabbas was a bandit.
All right. Who knew that George Soros was buried back then, huh? All right. Even leading those people. What was Peter questioned about? Whether he, what? You were with him, right? You were with him. Why did they hit Jesus? Right? Why did they hit Jesus? Because of what he said, right? He says, he comes up to Caiaphas, right? Or Annas, who's not even the high priest. He's the father-in-law of the high priest. Now, in the other Gospels, we finally come to understand he goes from Annas to Caiaphas, and from Caiaphas to Pilate. But there's a lot of things that are fishy about the crucifixion or the trial that Jesus had to incur. First of all, it was at night. So it was like a secret trial or a secret thing, behind the door thing. And Jesus is standing before a man who's not really the high priest, and he speaks to him, and he's saying, look, what have I said that's hidden? Have I said anything? I've taught openly and publicly. And then they slap him. Meanwhile, how many times did Peter deny Jesus? 3 times, right? 3 times. Where did they send Jesus after Annas? They sent him to Caiaphas, and then from there to Pilate. What kind of death did Jesus predict he would have? He would be what? Crucified, right? And he knew this was all being done. Christ knew what was going to happen. It was already foretold that they would crucify him, they would pierce him. What did Pilate ask Jesus? He said to him, what? Sorry, was that? I can set you free. Do you know I can set you free? And he's like, no, you can't. You don't have power. You know, there's a couple other things. I've come to preach the truth. And he says to him, what is truth? Right? He doesn't know. And there's this constant dialogue that happens between Jesus and Pilate that's recorded in other Gospels. But we see here that this, even to a point where Pilate's wife comes out and says, leave this guy alone. I had a dream about him. This is not good. And then eventually, which we will not see here, but Pilate will end up washing his hands and saying, I am innocent of this man's blood. Okay? What was Jesus' response to Pilate's question? I've come to preach the truth, right? The truth. What was Pilate's resolution to try to free Jesus? Was to do what? There's a custom. Hey, you guys can have Barabbas, or I can free Jesus, right? And the people are yelling out, Barabbas, Barabbas, Barabbas. And you think to yourself, why would people yell out Barabbas? Well, you got to understand, especially these days, even though they didn't have social media then, they had a crew out there, a people out there that were not for Jesus, this was a paid crowd. This was a crowd that was set there by the Pharisees. They did not know that there was even a trial going on. They didn't have no clue of what was going on. It wasn't like everyone went out there, hey guys, Jesus just got arrested. Come on, let's go free him. It wasn't like that. The only people who knew that Jesus was before Pilate were those who were told by the Pharisees. And so they brought their crowd into there who was yelling out, Barabbas, Barabbas, we want Barabbas to be free. Amen? All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Then Pilate took Jesus and had him whipped. The soldiers made a crown out of thorny branches and put it on his head. Then they put a purple robe on him and came to him and said, Long live the King of the Jews. And they went up and slapped him. Pilate went back out once more and said to the crowd,
Look, I will bring him out here to you to let you see that I cannot find any reason to condemn him. Look, here is the man.
So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe.
Crucify him! Crucify him!
You take him then and crucify him. I find no reason to condemn him.
We have a law that says he ought to die because he claimed to be the Son of God.
When Pilate heard this, he was even more afraid. He went back into the palace, then asked Jesus,
Where do you come from?
but Jesus did not answer.
You will not speak to me. Remember, I have the authority to set you free and also to have you crucified.
You have authority over me. Only because it was given to you by God. So the man who handed me over to you is guilty of a worse sin.
When Pilate heard this, he tried to find a way to set Jesus free.
If you set him free, that means you are not the Emperor's friend.
Anyone who claims to be a king is a rebel against the Emperor.
When Pilate heard these words, he took Jesus outside and sat down on the judge's seat in the place called the Stone Pavement. In Hebrew, the name is Gabbatha. It was then almost noon of the day before the Passover. Pilate said to the people,
Here is your king.
Kill him.
Do you want me to crucify your king?
The only king we have is the emperor.
Then Pilate handed Jesus over to them to be crucified.